listening to Nadine Maloney, live from the Desert Song Festival on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
And welcome to this very special broadcast going out right across the Northern Territory for the Desert Song Festival. I'm standing inside the Alice Springs Anglican Church on Bath Street. It is the Church of Ascension and one of the most iconic and kind of well-known, quirky buildings in Alice Springs, with its very high slanted roof, and which actually someone told me earlier is kind of like a tent in the desert. So if you can picture a high roof looking like a tent from a distance, that's what the roof is like here. Has beautiful stained glass windows which are reflecting the sunlight at the moment. Beautiful yellow, greens, reds and blues shining through inside the church. It really is a lovely space to be for some beautiful music, and I'm sure that high roof makes for some fantastic acoustics, which will make the music you're going to hear over the next hour truly special. From Vanuatu, we have the Soul Harvest Choir, Aurora, the senior vocal ensemble of the South Australian Youth Choir. Young Adelaide Voices are here. Also getting ready to sing for you, to perform for you, is the violinist Eric Avery from New South Wales, and so too is the Soweto Gospel Choir from South Africa, who recently won a Grammy Award for their latest album, Freedom. So that's who you'll be hearing from over the next hour. All you have to do is sit back, relax and enjoy this beautiful music. And if you are in Alice Springs, please pop down and pull up a pew. And I mean that literally, because we're in a church and there's pews, and there's plenty of room, so please do come down. On ABC Radio Darwin and across the Northern Territory, let's start off this morning with the Soul Harvest Choir. ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory, the Soul Harvest Choir from Efete and a huge cheer from inside the church, which is great to see. And I saw some of the members of the Soweto Gospel Choir actually get up to applaud and stand. So a really lovely reception here. I'm with the choir director, Alan Tommy. Good morning.
Good morning.
That was a beautiful song. What can you tell us about that song we just heard?
Okay, yeah, that song is apparently I wrote the song.
Apparently.
Yes. That song is it's a story. It is a story. It's someone else's um story. So I just listened to him and then I wrote that song about that person.
Okay. Someone told me that everyone, all the members of this choir are related. Is that true?
Yes. We come out from a small community. Vanuatu is where we have about 80 islands with 100 plus languages. We come out, we're from the central part of the country. That's where Port Vila is. That's a capital down. So there is two groups here. There's Navataparo Praise and Soul Harvest. Soul Harvest is from the mainland, where the capital city is, and then we're from a small offshore island, which is 20 to 25 minutes by boat. So we come together, we speak the same language, same dialect. So yeah, we are related.
Okay. And what languages do you sing in?
We have, like I mentioned before, we have more than 100 languages. Our language, our own dialect is Nakanamanga. So yeah, that's what we're singing.
We've been getting ready, and there was a couple of sound checks earlier. The Soweto Gospel Choir are world known. They won a Grammy earlier this year. As they were sound checking, I noticed many members of Soul Harvest Choir looking very excited and holding up their phones to take photographs and video. What does it mean for your choir to share a venue and to perform with the Soweto Gospel Choir?
God, this is a dream come true. We've googled up, and we've actually went into YouTube just to find these people. These people are famous, and we look up to you. We look up to these people. We're so excited, so excited. I am very excited.
I think there's a lot of excited people here inside the Anglican Church on Bath Street in Alice Springs. But everyone listening at home or in your cars as you drive around, please, you're welcome to drop by. This is a free event as part of the Desert Song Festival. Several choirs you're going to hear over the next hour are also performing elsewhere around Alice Springs for the festival. But this morning, they're right here inside the church. All right, we're going to have another song from the Soul Harvest Choir. What song is next?
Okay, this other song is entitled Epia Masoso. That's from our dialect, Nakanamanga, and it's written by one of the other music director. He's not with us today. It's simply talking about, because this is a gospel choir, so we're singing about our life in this world, our struggle, what we faced. So we're trying to sing it out to people, and we're just simply talking about someone else's struggle.
Okay. Alan Tommy, choir director, thank you so much. On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory, this is Soul Harvest from Effecte.
Tapalana tuna
another standing ovation for the Soul Harvest Choir from Efete in Vanuatu. You're listening to ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory. My name is Nadine Maloney, broadcasting this morning from inside the Anglican Church on Bath Street in Alice Springs. Plenty of pews still available if you'd like to drop by and come and watch these beautiful performances. It is 16 past 10.
Michaela Simpson.
Let's talk about your ute. Just describe that particular piece and what we're looking at.
Weekdays from 3.
This is a true story. This is my story I'm putting out there. I have a 1976 F100. It's a thumping great old V8 that's got a beautiful patina. Some could call it rust. I like to think it's just a pretty face. Yeah, she's got really pretty. And since I've had her, she just attracts attention, all the right sort of attention.
On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
You're listening to Nadine Maloney, live from the Desert Song Festival on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
We are broadcasting from inside the Anglican Church on Bath Street in Alice Springs as part of the Desert Song Festival. You've already heard, you've already heard from the Soul Harvest Choir. You're about to hear from Aurora, the senior vocal ensemble of the South Australian Youth Choir Young Adelaide Voices. Christy Anderson is the artistic director. Hello.
Hi Nadine, how are you?
I'm well. Isn't this a beautiful venue for your choir to perform in?
It's stunning. We look forward to hearing what the choir sounds like in here.
What are the age groups? It's the Young Adelaide Voices, the senior vocal ensemble of that choir. So what are the ages that we are going to hear from this morning?
So without telling any tales, this is the oldest group and sort of the alumni group. So the youngest person in this group is 21 and the oldest person celebrated a 30th birthday a number of years ago. So we're the senior ensemble, but our youngest choir in Young Adelaide Voices starts at 5 years old.
And I understand that you like to perform contemporary Australian modern music. So what sort of music is that?
I think we really class it as contemporary classical music. So anything that uses new works. We have our composer in residence, Rachel Brewerville, here on tour with us at the moment. So anything that allows us to give a contemporary choral feel to music that has been written in perhaps, anywhere between the last 50 years, but a lot of the stuff that we do is very recent, and we actually did the world premiere of one of Rachel's pieces at the festival.
And how did that go?
It was pretty great. Rachel's got her thumbs up. We're all good. Yeah, look, we really enjoyed it, and I think, again, with a new piece of music, the more you sing it, the more you get into the body and the soul of the music, the more it develops.
How many gigs might you do in a year, and I guess what's it like coming to a place like the Northern Territory for the Desert Song Festival?
Well, we would do it. Look, every year is different. We started our year actually doing the female chorus in Holst the Planets with the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra as their first, which is a tiny 6-minute, very, very high 6-part piece sung right at the end off stage. So we started doing that. That was our first gig. Our next gig was the opening night of the Adelaide Festival, doing the Symphony for Our World. It's the 135th anniversary of National Geographic. So it's been quite a varied year. So if we do a fringe show, last year we did the Feast Festival. So we do lots of different things. Every year is different.
Have you done a gig inside a church as pretty as this one with those stained glass windows?
We have not done a gig in a church shaped like this at all, and I do love the concept of the tent. It's gorgeous. People in Alice Springs, come and check out this tent. It's amazing.
I love that description too. So someone described that earlier as the roof is sort of got a peak like a tent on it, which makes for some fantastic sounds inside. All right, what is Aurora going to perform for us now?
Well, we are in the desert, but we're actually going to sing a piece by a Latvian composer. This is Ubi Caritas. It's by Olayelo. Phew, I nearly got that wrong. And it's based on a 12th century Gregorian chant. And it's in Latin, but the basic translation is, where there is peace, love and charity, God is there.
Okay. On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory, this is the senior vocal ensemble of the South Australian Youth Choir, Aurora.
Christ
On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory. Another beautiful performance. Thank you to Aurora. And next up, we have violinist Eric Avery is here as well. He is a Nyampa, Yuin, Bunjalung and Gumbayanga artist from New South Wales. Good morning, welcome.
Hi.
Lovely to have you here. You've got your violin. Let's make our way to the altar. We are broadcasting this morning from the Anglican Church on Bath Street in the middle of Alice Springs. And if you would like to join us, you're most welcome to. Eric, I heard that you learnt classical music by ear. Is that right?
Yeah, when I was young, and then I started to get lessons after that.
And who have you worked with musically?
I've worked with the Black Arm Band, Marigeku, many different artists.
Yeah. The Melbourne Symphony, did you work with them?
Yeah, I wrote a children's song for them.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. What brought that around? How did you get to work with them?
They wanted to work with Indigenous language, so I started to, I've been learning my language for the last 5 years, so that's been a big part of my practice, is to revitalise my language in my music. And yeah, I was approached by the Melbourne Symphony to compose a piece to teach language.
And what language do you perform in?
Nyampa, which is my dad's language. Yeah.
And what are you going to perform for us this morning?
I'm going to perform a little piece with the violin and with language as well. Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you set up and get ready, just when you're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Avery on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
Where does this pick up? So, I hope this isn't being filmed.
on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory. Eric Avery from New South Wales, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Playing the violin and singing in the Nyampa language, his dad's language from New South Wales. My name is Nadine Maloney, broadcasting this morning from inside one of the most iconic buildings in Alice Springs. As you drive along Bath Street, you definitely notice it. It has a high slanted roof, beautiful stained glass windows, which the sun is streaming through right now, yellows and reds and greens and blues. We're here for a very special broadcast as part of the Desert Song Festival. The Soweto Gospel Choir are getting ready. They will be performing for you shortly. It is 10:30.
Who said Test cricket is dead?
Hazelwood comes in, Overton's in. Oh, it's out. Bad, how is that? That's LBW. And it's hitting. It's out. And it's all over. They're all hugger-mugger out there. Delighted to have retained the Ashes and what has been an extraordinary campaign.
The Ashes 2019.
Test cricket at its very best. On air, online and on the ABC Listen app.
You're listening to Nadine Maloney, broadcasting live from the Desert Song Festival on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
Good morning. It is so nice to have your company if you're listening to this special broadcast as we broadcast right across the Northern Territory. I'm loving the image of people all over the top end listening to this beautiful music from Central Australia this morning. However, if you are in Alice Springs, there are pews available in this church, and we would love for you to come by and to watch and to listen to the choirs perform this morning. My mum just arrived a few moments earlier. Hi, Mum! So my mum's here. Everyone else is welcome too. Plenty of room available. Morris Stewart is the festival director of the Desert Song Festival. Hello.
Hi, Nadine. This is a very special morning, and thank you and to the ABC for running it.
What a beautiful building. Does the tent-like slanted roof improve the sound?
I don't know if it improves it, but it's a wonderful place to sing in because of that tent and because of the vaulted ceiling that we have here, yes, and the solid floor as well. It's got everything going for it.
It helps that the choirs are all right as well. You know, they're pretty good.
It helps that the choirs know what they're doing. They are absolutely stunning. We have had a cracker of a festival, and these choirs have given so much to us in Alice Springs this week.
How have some of the shows been?
Off the charts, all of them. They've been great. Every single one of them. The feedback I get, people are stunned that we can showcase this talent in Alice Springs. A lot of interstate people think that nothing happens here. So it's been an education to them as well as all the other art. It's a wonderful arts hub, this place.
It was lovely. I was walking through town yesterday at lunchtime and I could just hear music everywhere. I walked past the post office, I walked down the mall towards the river, and I could just hear music everywhere because of what's happening in the mall every lunchtime.
Midday in the Mall is a really special program, and come down again today. Alice Springs Chime Choir is flying in as we speak, and they'll be performing, but there's other performers there as well. I think the St. Philip's Youth Choir, school choir is going to be there for an hour. It's going to be a really special day. And what are we, Thursday today? I think the Ukulele Cafe is going to be on as well, for the first hour. So, lots of music.
There's been a bit of buzz within the church this morning as the Soweto Gospel Choir arrived and did their sound check earlier. What do you think it means for the other choirs to be able to share a space with them like this?
You'll have to ask them, but having the Soweto Gospel Choir as part of the Desert Song Festival is absolutely stunning. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you. And as you've seen the response of the other choirs, all the phones are out, the cameras are on, the movies are running. Whenever these guys come into town, they create a real buzz. But not only that, they like coming here. They regard this as their second home. Is that right, guys? Yes! Yeah. They put up a promo on Facebook a couple of months ago just saying how excited they were. And I'm glad that they're here for a few days. We've got an all-day, well, almost all-day workshop with them tomorrow, and then tomorrow night at the event under the Southern Cross. Alice Springs, get into gear and come up to the Earth Sanctuary for an absolutely stunning evening of music. There'll be 150 voices singing some beautiful music together and in their separate groups. But we love having the Soweto Gospel Choir. And of course, there are 2 big concerts on Saturday. You'll have to hurry to get your tickets, but make sure, locals, that you get down to the Araloo and don't just turn up 5 minutes before and give us a queue of 100 people, please.
So plenty of shows still to come, but let's focus on what is happening here this morning. And I understand this is the very end of the Australian tour for the Soweto Gospel Choir. Have been toiling hard as they travel Australia. These shows here in Alice Springs mark the end of that tour. So we appreciate you being here and thank you for your time. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to have a couple of songs, but let's have your first song. On ABC Radio Darwin and across the Northern Territory, this is the Soweto Gospel Choir. On ABC Radio Darwin in the Northern Territory, the Soweto Gospel Choir from South Africa. I wish for those of you listening in your cars, in your homes, in your workplaces, right across the Northern Territory, that you could see what we just witnessed here within the Anglican Church. Beautiful dancing up on stage. Shimi Gianni is the choir master. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm well. That was a beautiful performance. Thank you so much. What can you tell us about that song?
The song, it's called Umbombela. It's a song that was sung by the miners, and what it means when the miners were going to work, they used a train. It's a choo-choo train that is called a bombel. So it's a train that it passes your house by 5 o'clock in the morning, and once you miss it, you're not going to go to work. And it's a type of train that goes, and you look at when the Musungishia, you're looking at it going, and once it disappears, it's gone. You're not going to work tomorrow, and you're fired tomorrow. You see, so it's that type of a song. So it talks about Mbombela, the enjoyment of the miners when they're going to work, when they're going to come back and be, working hard at work and coming back and getting to that Mbombela train and going back home. So it's a choo-choo train. So that's why when you hear our chamber plays that, we said, that's the sound of that train, yes.
And there's some beautiful dancing. Is that spontaneous or is there choreography for that?
It's choreography for that because it's a choreography that goes with the song because it's trying to explain to our audience that what are we singing about. So when you do that, it's the wheels of the train, the choo-choo, when it goes choo-choo. So that means the train when it goes, yeah.
Congratulations, the Soweto Gospel Choir won a Grammy earlier this year for the album Freedom. Congratulations. What was that experience like?
Thank you. Yeah. It was a great experience. It was a special moment for the choir, and we went with the whole management, Mary Muloveti, our musical director, Milton and Dlaguse, and our general manager, Mulalo Muloveti, and Mr. K, and our chairman, Tony. So it was a great time for us, and why I say it was a great time for us, because of the album itself. It speaks about freedom. It speaks about the freedom that South Africa has, and after coming out of the apartheid era. And there's the music that we sing on that album. It speaks about us. It speaks about South African and what we went through and where we're at right now in 2019. So we tried getting in the studio and making sure that we lay out everything, because it speaks about things that happened in our lives and are still happening in our lives. So we are proud of ourselves because we put our heart and soul in that album, and then it came up with a Grammy. So thank you very much.
The choir has been performing throughout Australia. You've already played in Darwin, actually, but then throughout Australia, lots and lots and lots and lots of shows. And now here you are, just about to finish your Australian tour with these shows in Alice Springs. How are you feeling?
We're feeling excited to be home. This is like, welcome back home. And when we're here, we're comfortable. The love that we get and the warmth of the people here in Alice Springs, it means so much to the choir, and that's why we love coming here. And you can even see, we're meeting so many choirs now, and it's special for us, because now that means we're going to make one song and we're going to sing all of us in Alice Springs, and it's going to be beautiful. And that's what we're here for, and that's what Soweto Gospel Choir is all about. It's all about sharing the music, but music is the food for the soul. So we need to feed each other with our music and our cultures and the song, yeah.
And sharing the music and supporting each other. It was so lovely to see the choirs applauding each other, getting up and giving a standing ovation for this choir, and really getting behind and supporting everyone who was performing. I'm going to let you go because you're going to perform one more song for us. Shimi Gianni, choir master, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Also with me is Andrew Kay, producer and I guess founder of the Soweto Gospel Choir. Hello.
Yes, back in 2003. It's a long time ago, so it's great to be back in Alice Springs.
What's the, origin story of how the choir was created?
Well, it's an odd story. I was doing a tour of another choir, and the choir cancelled, and we had to fill find a choir. And so we'd worked with David Malavasi, who is Malalo's father, the late David Malavasi, and he had a small choir. And so we rang David and said, how about we gave you some resources and made a much bigger choir and made it an international choir? And so that's what we did. And the first performance ever of the Soweto Gospel Choir was in Frankston in Victoria in 2003.
Really?
That's right. And we've now won 5 Grammys. We've won an Emmy for our work with U2, and we were also nominated for an Academy Award. So it's been an extraordinary story. of success, and it's thanks to the talents of these guys. They're extraordinary singers, and we're so lucky to have the talent. I mean, and Jimmy mentions, the connection with Australia is quite extraordinary, because Jimmy mentioned the fact that we won the album, the Grammy for the album Freedom. Well, Freedom was recorded in Adelaide last year. So there is an ongoing connection. And it's wonderful to be back here, because the reason we keep coming back here is because of Maurice Stewart. I mean, what an extraordinary, extraordinary man. How lucky Australia is to have Maurice Stewart. How lucky Alice Springs is to have Maurice Stewart. And without Maurice and without the Desert Song Festival, we wouldn't keep coming back. But he keeps drawing us back again and again. This is our fourth time. And luckily, he then introduced us to the Central Australian Aboriginal Women's Choir, and now our choir, the Soweto Gospel Choir and the Central Australian Aboriginal Women's Choir, have a very strong bond and a collaboration, and we are thrilled to work with them. So.
And there's some more performances, of course, from the choir, but some workshops as well?
Yes, we're doing workshops all day tomorrow, and I think now that Milton, our musical director, has heard the quality of the choir from Vanuatu and the Aurora Choir, I think really the game has got to be lifted tomorrow, because we have got some serious musical talent and we've got to do a serious workshop with them. And by the way, I'd love to talk to the people from Vanuatu. We have been to Fiji, but we've never been to Vanuatu, the Soweto Gospel Choir, and wouldn't that be exciting to go to Vanuatu and sing with you guys?
Creating connections. What are some of the other venues that the choir has performed at on this Australian tour?
In Australia, we perform at the Sydney Opera House and Hamer Hall. We've played tomorrow. We do our 50th and 51st concert in Australia. So we've played everywhere from the Sydney Opera House to the Bright Community Centre. We started this tour in Karratha because I believe that a choir that sings about meaningful things, that it's a gospel choir that's also singing about the history of South Africa and the apartheid regime and the end of apartheid and their freedom as human beings now, needs to actually not just sing in the great concert halls, we actually need to go into community as well and spread that message. So that's what we've done.
Andrew Kay, producer, founder of the Soweto Gospel Choir. Nice to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory. We've got time for one more song from the Soweto Gospel Choir. Take it away.
Ramma
on ABC Radio Darwin in the Northern Territory. Thank you so much to the Soweto Gospel Choir. Hello.
Yeah.
What was that song?
The song is called Ramasedi. It's a Sotho song. And it's actually the song that we created as a choir. Yes, actually it was created by Maloney. And the song speaks about thanking God and saying we keep on praising you every day wherever we go all over the world. This is what we'll be doing, praising your name.
Beautiful and lovely dancing as well, and you got the crowd up. There was a standing ovation. Soweto Gospel Choir from South Africa, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone. Sir.
On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory, Nadine Maloney with you, broadcasting from inside the Anglican Church on Bath Street. Just for another 9 minutes. You're welcome to come down and join us if you would like for the last 9 minutes of this broadcast. It is 9 away from 11.
The Country Hour.
The world record as it stands for a Texas Longhorn. Its horns from tip to tip measuring almost 3.35 metres. Holy smokes, that would stick out in the paddock, wouldn't it?
Weekdays from 12:30.
Got ourselves half a dozen to start them off, and we had some of the beef, and it's yummy. Being promoted Australia-wide now as a lean beef, and it's a really tasty beef.
On air and podcasting on the ABC Listen app.
You're listening to Nadine Maloney, live from the Desert Song Festival on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
And I thought we've got a few pews left if anyone wants to come in and join us for the final minutes of our broadcast. But I thought I might check in with a couple already in the audience. Jenny from Alice Springs, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm pretty good, actually. It's been a beautiful morning of music. What have you thought of what you've heard this morning?
Oh, it's amazing. It's just wonderful to see all these wonderful choirs here in Alice Springs, and very special for us.
Had you seen the Soweto Gospel Choir on their previous trips to Alice?
Yes, I've seen them every time they've been in Alice Springs. And
so a big fan of the Soweto Gospel Choir here then. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Nice to meet you and enjoy the final minutes. We've got time for, I think, one more song, and that's from the Soul Harvest Choir, who are back up on stage and going to perform for us now on ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory.
Vanuatu, you shine, oh, same one morning star. Oh, tourist man, in like him, long looking you, long every place, you looking old and paradise. Vanuatu, me like him you, Vanuatu, Vanuatu, me like him you, Vanuatu. Tuai, na Mariana, Mama Waningo, Polo Tukinia, Umai, Pilake Popo, Tauta Waningo, Polo Tukinia.
On ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory, the Soul Harvest Choir, who have just walked off the altar, and Morris Stewart, Festival Director, is asking them kindly to come back because we are wrapping up our very special broadcast here as part of the Desert Song Festival. It's been really lovely having you listen with us this morning from all over the Northern Territory, and it's been wonderful to have such a beautiful crowd of people who came down as well. So hello to everyone and thank you for coming. To take us out, we're going to have one more song. This is the finale of our special Desert Song Festival broadcast from inside the Church of Ascension, the Anglican Church of Alice Springs. This is the Soul Harvest Choir.
I want to go back to that land. I want to go back.
ABC Radio Darwin and the Northern Territory as the Soweto Gospel Choir join in with the Soul Harvest Choir from Efete in Vanuatu. This is where we will leave you this morning. It's been our pleasure to be in this church as part of the Desert Song Festival. I hope you've enjoyed some of the music you've heard this morning. The Soul Harvest Choir from Vanuatu, the Soweto Gospel Choir, Aurora from the Adelaide Youth Choir, and Eric Avery, violins from New South Wales. It's time for the news now on ABC Radio Darwin.
Wherever you are, we're with you. Keep in touch with the Territory with the ABC Listen app. Download it to your phone now.